Turn to question 9. I call on the Honourable Member for Douglas North, Mr Wannenburgh.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'd like to ask the Minister for the Cabinet Office how many public sector employees, having resigned or retired and drawn a pension, return to work A, on a project, B, for a fixed term appointment, C, in a salaried post, D, on self-employed basis, broken down by government department, office or board in the year ending 31st of December 2021. Thank you.
Thank you. I call on the Minister for the Cabinet Office to reply.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Member for his question. The data I can provide next is from the current Human Resources and Payroll System, and it includes all employees who have commenced receipt of an ex-employee pension prior to commencing an employment in the Isle of Man Government with contracted hours. This is broken down by department or board and office. Where they are not included below, that there have not been any employees of this type during the period. So the departments and the numbers are as follows. For the period, for the year ending 31st of December 2021, Cabinet Office 3, Clerk and Tynwald's Office 1, Department of Education, Sport and Culture 4, Department of Health and Social Care 1, Department of Infrastructure 3, Manx Care 12, Treasury 1, totalling 25 in answer to the Honourable Member's question. The data does not include individuals who are claiming a pension and hold bank casual 0 hours positions, as they do not fit the criteria mentioned by the Honourable Questioner at A to D in his question. Bank casual 0 hours roles have no guarantee of work and fill short-term needs, for example, nurses in DHSC and teachers in education. Individuals operating within government on a self-employed basis would only be engaged in delivering services appointed through a procurement process, not working on an employed basis. For this reason, the data does not include anyone in this category. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Mr Morehouse.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Thank you, Minister. Is there currently any restriction on the time which must elapse between the leaving date and the restarting date, and if not, is that something that's being considered? Thank you.
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. There is a policy around this which I can have circulated, and I can say that retired public servants in receipt of retirement scheme benefits are eligible to apply for government vacancies, and they are subject to open and fair competition where they meet relevant criteria for the role. So I can circulate the broader policy if that's of interest. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Mr Thomas.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I believe that the meaning of the Minister's last sentence was that this wouldn't include contracted employers in some senses through an operation. And I note that Mrs Edge asked about that, and there seemed to be quite an increase in most departments in the number of contracted employers. And the question back in the summer, just before the election, can the Minister confirm that it doesn't include that sort of contract? And secondly, there don't seem to be any figures for the Department of Home Affairs. Does the Minister have any idea about former employees of the Department of Home Affairs who are working in other departments, and what sort of contribution there are inside that 25 from former Department of Home Affairs employees?
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Speaker. I think on those 2 points I'd refer back to the answer previously given, so that the information there, it's not about, so I've said, you see, it's not about those that are contracted. That will go through a separate procurement process, so I don't have any further information to provide on that. And of the departments I've listed, that's where people are recruited to. And I think I've stated that if a department isn't included in the ones I've mentioned there, it's because they don't fall within the numbers upon the query in that 12 months ending the 31st of December. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Further supplementary, Mr Morehouse.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Does the data refer to the number of people returning to the original department or to any department? Thank you very much.
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It is as per the question. So we've been asked about how many have returned. We've been asked about how it's broken by department that they've been recruited to. Is the answer. That's in line with the question. Thank you, Mr Speaker.